Hey everybody, welcome in. It's another edition of the Doug Russell Show here on DougRussellSports.blogspot.com. We're at the baseball all-star break, and the Brewers, as poorly as things have gone at times for this team this year, are still tied with St. Louis for first place. Think about all the things that have gone wrong for the Brewers so far this year. The first month of the season, they were missing Zach Greinke. He had the cracked rib stemming from the basketball injury that he sustained during spring training. Corey Hart was out for most of the first month as well. Jonathan Lucroy with the busted pinky. Nyjer Morgan had a pair of injuries. And by the way, quick note on Nyjer Morgan. I'll admit fully when I'm wrong. I didn't think that the Nyjer Morgan trade for Cutter Dykstra was going to mean a whole lot for the Brewers. Maybe an added left-handed bat coming off the bench. He has turned out to be an absolute spark plug for this team and an absolute steal for Doug Melvin, giving up a player in Cutter Dykstra that, quite honestly, I don't think is ever going to reach the major leagues. They've also, the Brewers, have gotten no production from the left-hand side of the infield. They've got Yuniesky Betancourt, whose defense has been a little bit better than advertised, and Casey McGee, who, let's face it, is never going to win a Gold Glove over there, and has also been mired in an horrific slump, the game-winning home run the other day notwithstanding, over at Miller Park against the Diamondbacks. So the left side of your infield has given you no production to speak of. If you could get something out of them in the second half of the season, as well as the right side of the infield and your two All-Stars in Prince Fielder and Ricky Weeks, I think you've really got something. Also, if you could get something out of Zach Greinke as well, you take a look at his win-loss record, and it's very good. You take a look at the way that he's been battered around the ballpark this year, not so good. He is capable of doing so much better than what we've seen in the first half of the season, and yet the Brewers still seem to find ways to win when he's on the hill. Also, the Brewers, one of the worst teams in all of baseball on the road. They can't do anything away from Miller Park, and yet, again, they are still tied for first place. The bullpen has been shaky at times as well, and yet this team with 49 wins is still tied for first place. All of those things that have gone wrong for the Brewers, doesn't at least make you feel somewhat better that this team is still in pretty good shape heading into the second half of the season? Remember that 0-4 start that the Brewers had, and everybody was jumping off the home bridge? Everybody's just got to relax a little bit. The Brewers, I think, are going to be just fine, and if they can get their problems figured out from the first half of the season during the second half, I think we're going to see some October baseball here for this hometown team. The Brewers right now, 49 wins. Do you realize that there are only 7 teams in baseball that have more wins than the Brewers do? The Red Sox, Yankees, Rangers, Angels, Phillies, Braves, and Giants. Those are the only teams in Major League Baseball that have more wins than the Brewers do. Only 7 of them. Remember, 8 teams make it to the playoffs. So for everyone who's said that this is a disappointing team, this team is never going to do anything, this team isn't going to reach October, everybody just take a deep breath. At the All-Star break, this team is not in bad shape at all. And remember, in the last week and a half, they've missed the big bat of Ryan Braun. He'll get 3 extra days to rest during the All-Star break. He should have a whale of a second half as well. I am predicting it. I think we're going to see some October baseball here in Milwaukee come 2011. That'll do it for this edition of the Doug Russell Television Show right here at DougRussellSports.blogspot.com. The All-Star break is coming up. I'm headed to Arizona. I'll file a couple of reports from there during the Midsummer Classic. Hope everybody has a great All-Star break, and we'll talk to you from the desert.
Doug Russell Show!